Daredevil Born Again is amazing. And even just the title of the first episode reveals how very apocalyptic this show is going to get. Welcome to Philosophy All Along. Here, I'm a professional philosopher and I try to use the tools of philosophy to try and help me understand the things I love, like this show. Now, there are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come on back, because wow, they're doing some amazing stuff. Even just the title of the first episode, Heaven's Half Hour, says a whole lot. So let's dig into it. So first of all, the title is a reference to the book of Revelations. Now, as we all know, Matt is a devout Catholic, and that leads to a lot of tensions for him. Should he be going around beating people up or murdering them? Now, this issue where he has tried to kill someone, he tried to push this guy off of a rooftop and succeeded. He was hoping the man would die, is already a huge problem for Matt, right? This is a mortal sin. Whether he was successful or not, he tried to do it. And in Catholicism, trying to commit the sin is as bad as actually committing the sin. So he is, by his own lights, a murderer. And the very fact that the title itself of this episode is a biblical reference is important. But it's not just any biblical reference, it's a biblical reference regarding the breaking of the seventh seal. The quote is, "And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about the space of a half hour." So, why take this space? Why have this moment of silence? Well, because all hell is about to break loose. It's about literally the end of the world. It is apocalyptic. So there's this kind of breath and then boom, everything's going to happen. What kinds of things are going to happen? The seven angels, which had the seven trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. Right, so we're talking earthquakes, we're talking about boiling seas. The second angel sounded and there was a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea had become blood. Right, it's bad, it's very bad. So the general accepted reading of the why of that half an hour is because something so big is about to happen that heaven kind of takes a pause before it all goes down. And we see this, of course, with the election of Kingpin. The episode titled in this way, one reading of it is that, okay, we have the episode going and we have this kind of breath. We're taking this moment and then Kingpin is elected. And as you see in the episode, things start to happen, right? We have a whole bunch of stuff going on and people are celebrating in the streets, but it has a very kind of negative and violent context to it. And there at the end of the episode, we see Matt and we see Kingpin, right? And they appear to be looking at each other as if the armies, the leaders of heaven and hell are preparing themselves for what will be the last battle. When we talk about apocalyptic, the word apocalypse, its etymology, its origin literally means unveiling or Revelations. And that's why we have this key connection between the book of Revelations and, of course, the idea of the apocalypse and the end of the world. And now those ideas are kind of inseparable. And it seems that this is what's happening for Matt, that he isn't just about to experience the end of the world, but that he's also experiencing an unveiling. He is starting to see, right? That there is an important gesture towards him being a blind man who is able to see things that the rest of us cannot. And he has been hiding himself. He has been not letting himself see what's happening, right? He denies the opportunity to know more about Kingpin's activity when his investigator comes and speaks to him. So now we see him appear to look at Kingpin, and so things are being revealed, right? And so we have this end of the world, it's about to happen moment. It's about to all break loose. Okay, so interestingly enough, in rabbinical law, right? So in the Jewish tradition, hours are relative. And so that ends up being very important too, because think about what Matt is going through. He has gone through the experience of losing his best friend. That is a tragic and traumatic experience. It is a hell that he is in. And so, in the Jewish concept of hours in this historical context. There's supposed to be 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, regardless of whether or not you're having shorter nights or longer days. So no matter what, though, the daylight hours are 12 total hours. Whether it's winter and the days are the daylight is shorter, well, you have shorter hours, but still 12 daylight hours. So to me, this is a reminder of how for heaven and for hell, the idea of an hour or half an hour is relative. You go to heaven, what is a half hour for you like in heaven? Well, it could end up being days and days or months or years here on earth. And I think that that is where Matt has been, right? He has been in a space where with his trauma and with his loss, it feels like it's lasting forever. It's like a half hour in heaven, right? That short period of time in heaven might be a very, very long time, an eternity for Matt. Wait a minute. He's the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He's Daredevil. And so we have is a wonderful juxtaposition between the idea of, well, wait a minute, he's not really getting a half an hour in heaven. Who is getting a half an hour in heaven? And I think that this leads to very possibly the most brilliant thing that they did in this show in terms of this title. Matt is Irish. There's an old Irish toast, and that toast goes, may you be in heaven a half hour before the devil knows you're dead. And it's really supposed to be a very positive thing, right? That you have so few sins weighing your soul down that upon your death, boom, you go up to heaven, you're hanging out, with God, you're having a great time. You got at least a half an hour up there before the devil is even like, oh, holy cannoli, this person has died, right? So I think this is a gesture towards Foggy, Matt's friend. In other words, it's something that Matt might have even said at a funeral service, right? In toasting his friend. But then that connects us back to that first understanding of the heaven's half hour being a breath before everything goes wrong. The very beginning of the episode begins with this kind of breath, and then everything goes wrong, and Foggy is killed, and everything goes wrong for Matt. So we have this Irish toast that reminds us of this moment here for Foggy, this concept of him being a good man who hopefully is going straight to heaven. But in my reading of it, it is also the possibility that, you better enjoy your half an hour in heaven because the devil is going to come for you, right? Once he knows, he's going to come get you. And that, I think, really speaks to the end of the episode. So we have the beginning of the episode, right, with Foggy, him being lost, and this idea of Matt recognizing that loss. And I think this title that gestures towards, may you go to heaven, straight there, you belong there, bud. But to the end of the episode, but you, right, I'm coming for you. And so you have this epic scene at the end of the episode, right, where Wilson Fisk is up high, up in heaven, and you have Matt Murdock down below in hell, and they're looking at each other. Further emphasized by the fact that Wilson is haloed and he's in blue lighting, and Matt, he's in flickering red, one suggesting fire, but also he's split in his lighting, and the lighting itself flickers on and off, reminiscent, of course, of the alarms, right? Police sirens. But also it's a sign to the viewer that he has attention. Should I become the devil again? Am I going to become that person again? Matt versus Daredevil. But also, I just love the hell reference that you get out of the fact that it's flickering and flames flicker, right, in red. Remember what follows from the quote that the title of this episode comes from, that there will be an angel that blows a trumpet and horrible things happen, and then another angel blows a trumpet and horrible things happen. There's blood and death and chaos, right? Where is it that the end of the world begins? In heaven, up there with Wilson Fisk. And it's a constant reminder of the very tension that this show and the idea of Daredevil in general and Matt Murdock himself has to live, right? Where if he is the devil, how can he be the hero? But what happens if the devil is the hero? Well, then heaven becomes the villain. So with that, what we see then is both Kingpin and Daredevil haven't happened yet, right? They are both characters right now where it's actually Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock. But Matt is, and he's already said this in the episode, just like I think that Irish toast can be read to imply, I'm coming for you, right? The forces of heaven and the forces of hell have arrayed themselves and they are preparing potentially to do battle. And the real question is now, is Fisk going to become Kingpin again? And as a result, the devil is going to come for him and bring him back down where he belongs. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Please comment. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. I love to reply to them. And please share it with other people. Trying to grow the audience, and it's super helpful. So I'm looking forward to talking to you about what happens throughout the rest of this show. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.